All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. It's an early 9 o'clock for me on a Tuesday because it was a really late night because I had to travel a really long way to get to see an early screening of Shazam. Clearly not as early as everybody else that does YouTube videos that get a ton of views on movie videos, but still early for me. I'd like to thank the people at Graham Cracker Comics in Illinois for getting me a couple of tickets to see this movie out at the Hollywood Boulevard Cinema in Woodbridge, Illinois, which was my first time doing that as well. And I gotta say, it is crazy, the experience of this place. And I really love the inside of it. I really love how this place, on its initial trial run, I did have to sit in the front row because I don't know how this place works, and apparently you need to get there like fucking early. This is like trying to get on a ride first at Great America when they first open. It is first come first serve, and yeah, like any theater, but people know what they're doing when they get here. And it's like I walked in there and the only places were in the front already. So but it still wasn't a horrible film experience at all. In fact, it made me appreciate what people go through to go to this theater. But that's not why we're here. That sounds like I'm making a commercial for Hollywood Boulevard Cinema. But I would still like to thank Graham Cracker Comics for getting me to see this early. And let's talk about Shazam. Let's talk about it. So there will be spoilers, I think, but not right at the beginning. I'll let you know when spoilers come. So, is Shazam good? Shazam's cute. It's got, I took my nephew, who's 15, about to be 16, and he was laughing nonstop through it, and it wasn't just stupid kid stuff that any teenager will laugh at. It was pretty good. I'm mostly a laughing on the inside guy, so I found it humorous. I found it really humorous, but I wasn't flat out laughing. Then you've got me. You got me. But everything was cute. I was worried going into Shazam that this was going to be too much of a kids movie, and it's a kids movie. All right, let's just put that out there right now for anybody who it's pretty kiddie. There's some, kind of scary stuff, but so, in some of the best kids movies, that's, par. Is there some mild swearing? Yes. I think they capture the spirit of Shazam pretty well. The thing is like Guardians of the Galaxy before it, I don't know much about Shazam except that it's a kid named Billy Batson who gets the power of Shazam, and that's about it. I think that he was an orphan. And so the little experience that I have with the character, knowing, he's kind of he's actually got a lot of cool powers and stuff that Superman doesn't have. He is kind of like Superman 2, like the sequel to Superman as a character. But what's different is Billy Batson himself as a character that is way different than Superman, even if they do have kind of the same core values. And the acting is really good in this movie as far as kids go. And I knew I was in safe hands for the most part as soon as I saw that Jerry, the guy who plays Jerry from The Walking Dead, was in it. I was like, oh, and for some reason that just made it okay. I don't know why. I just was like, oh, okay, I'm in. I guess I like Jerry a lot, even if I don't like The Walking Dead that much anymore. And so Billy, he's an orphan. He is trying to find his mother. That's why he keeps jumping from foster home to foster home and then at the same time, you've got this guy, this wizard who has all the power. He's Shazam, and he's been looking for a champion his whole life. He seems to think he's found one with this kid in 1974, but it doesn't work out right, and that kid becomes spoiler alert, they telegraph, you know what's coming in the beginning scene. This kid's going to end up being the bad guy. He was turned away by, the hero, and the villains accepted him. Except with villains in this, they're just using him to get out. There's these 7 deadly sins that break loose when the kid decides that he's, gonna take power any way he can get it. And so that begins the movie, and it's, you know, a 45-ish year wait for the original Shazam to find a new one in Billy Batson. And it comes, you know, when he does something nice and heroic. And the rest of the movie, after he gets the powers, is pretty much him figuring out his powers and what does it mean to be a hero, and what does it mean to be like a part of a family, and what does it mean, you know, like when the family that you have or you're looking for isn't the family that you need. And that's kid stuff. That's good, but I don't mean that in a bad way. This is a good kids movie. And do I wish it was more adult? Yes, but I had a feeling going in that it wouldn't be. There's a lot of kiddish humor. There's a lot of, you know, kids being kids in this to varying ages, because the family that Billy gets taken in has a bunch of kids that are run by ex-foster kids themselves, who are now married and have this own little surrogate family, which is a really nice thing. It really is. It's nice to see a family that's not cynical, really. A positive, you know, foster family, because in most cases in movies, the foster family or adoptive parents are always assholes, and it's nice to see them change that around, that the world isn't just full of pieces of shit. And so that's the majority of this, really, is him figuring out the rest of this stuff while Mark Strong, as the bad guy, kills, you know, a few people. The scene in which he kills a few people is pretty cool and crazy and dark. But again, it never really gets that dark, and I guess I don't know. It doesn't need to be, and that's what's nice about Shazam. Shazam is a different kind of DC movie. You know, with everybody talking about how gritty and dark everything is, Shazam is like Aquaman, a bright ray of sunshine in an otherwise cloudy day. Shazam did leave me feeling really happy when I left. Unfortunately for me, the trip going there and getting back kind of overshadowed the movie event itself, leading me to almost forget to do this review this morning, because I was still kind of reeling from last night's experiences, which I will get to probably in a live stream maybe, because it's pretty hilarious actually. But Zachary Levi is really good as Shazam. He was one of my main questions because, yeah, I know him from Chuck. And it made me forget, speaking of, why my nephew was so excited to see this movie. It's because Chuck, when he was like a few years ago, when he was like probably, 10, 11, 12, 13, he would watch Chuck and Malcolm in the Middle like non-stop. It was his favorite show. And I just realized, oh my God, we're excited because he finally gets to see Chuck be a superhero, which was pretty cool. And he does a really good job here. And so do the other two kids that play Billy and Freddie. Freddie's really funny, but Freddie's also cliche, but it's fine. There's always, you know, that kid, you know, the sidekick that doesn't think he's the sidekick. But he knows a lot about comics. And then you get the other kids that are varying degrees of cute. Some get more to do. You get like the basics of their personality so that later on there's a payoff to their personalities and things like that. And so we might as well get into spoilers from here on out. So we can talk about the ending. Yeah, so at the end of the movie, you know, Billy shares the power of Shazam with his foster kids, and they all turn into a bunch of different sized Shazams. And one, what's the kid from the OC's name? Oh gosh, the one that everybody, Adam Brody is one of the Shazams, which just kind of was weird because all the other ones I didn't recognize, except for the tall kid, the tall Asian fellow from 13 Reasons Why. I think that's who that was. He was one of them. But other than that, like, Adam Brody really took me out of it because the other kids all kind of have that same kind of age. Freddie looks way old. Freddie's Adam Brody Shazam looks way older than everybody else. But maybe it's Freddie's an old soul. I don't know. But it is kind of funny that all of them get to fight as Shazam and be powerful and be heroes. And all the kids in the audience, like, were dying over this stuff. Like, they loved it. They were eating it up. There was a kid behind me that just, whenever I see a good movie and a kid just goes, "This was the best movie I've ever seen." That's great. And this is like the superhero movie for kids like, this is the best superhero movie for kids that I've seen in a while. It gives really good messages. It has anti-bullying messages and how to be nice to each other and whatever. It's fine. And it's, to me, this isn't as good as Captain Marvel, but the Marvel Captain Marvel. This Captain Marvel is a lot of fun. And there's Superman has a cameo from the neck down. I was happy and pissed at the same time. I'm like, come on. Oh, I get it. It was funny. Then they set up the sequel in the mid-credit scene where you see the worm, which was teased in a bunch of cartoons that they played, Shazam cartoons they played before the movie, which was weird. I don't know if Graham Crackers had just looked up a bunch of cartoons of Billy Batson, but they had everything from Teen Titans Go to like some very like John K. Ren and Stimpy looking stuff. But yeah, there's like a worm with a speaker on that's like a super intelligent like inchworm or like a caterpillar that's gonna help the bad guy find new ways to get magic. So I'm assuming that's the sequel, even though I would like to see. I would have liked to have seen The Rock make a cameo in this. Maybe he did at the very, very end, but we didn't stick around, and maybe we should have after what happens after we leave, which, you know, is probably pretty easy to figure out. But anyway, that's Shazam. It's pretty good. It's funny. I don't need to see it again at a theater. I will move on to other things, but I'm glad that I can say that it's another good DC movie, and DC needs some hits. And I think it's going to be, you know, if you count Aquaman and this and then Wonder Woman later, it'll be a pretty good year for DC. Not as good as Avengers Endgame good and Spider-Man Far From Home and Captain Marvel, but they're doing something right? So let's give them that. Anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that rigmarole. Otherwise, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews saying have a great day, and see you later.